Well, it's a happy day to you. It is, of course, looking ahead to racing at the Vaal. We are back at the Vaal, and we are back on the much discussed and much debated stand-side track for an 8-race program, which commences at 12:25, and certainly promises to have some good quality horses on show. Of course, don't forget that it is also the first leg of the bipod, being the first of 8. And of course, get those bets on via Betway, because they do support the tote. And the only way you can get money if you are out in an area where there is no Wi-Fi facilities, go to your local convenience store, get that blue voucher, 50 Rand or more, and you also have a chance to be a part of that 50,000 Rand that is being given away as a prize money. Right, let's get straight into it, and we have a very informed tipster with us. And again, I have to say, unabashedly, it's well played to you. Cape Town seems to be pretty good to you these days. Hampstead Heath and the Senora Victoria. I actually made a tongue-in-cheek comment. You have banqueted everywhere, and it's either in or out. Is it duck or no duck, or a duck or no dinner? And
Yeah.
it was in for you.
Yeah, it was a good day. Let's hope we can reward our followers with a good couple of weeks heading into Christmas, and
That would be very, very nice.
they can spoil their family members.
Now, tell me, let me lead to you, sir. My one and only. What can beat it?
I just had a look at the comments in the computer form. Now it says restless. I don't know her that well, but excuse me, says if she's a bit of an upbeat or intractable filly, maybe she's going to be a handful for the inexperienced work rider. I'm not too sure. But if she behaves herself, she could be the right one. I had a look at her time. You know, her time in her last start was quicker than Big Boy Bruce's time. I know she carried 2.5 kilograms less, but it wasn't a bad time whatsoever. And she gets her sex allowance. She's she's highly regarded, this filly. She came to the track with a bit of a reputation. But I haven't banked her in the opening leg of the bipods. I've just backed up with my man Tom. You know me and Tom, say?
Yes, of course, of course.
And the reason why I'm backing her up is number 2 comes from a hot stable in Chris Jonker.
Yes.
And if the favorite does fluff its lines, at least we got some backup.
Tom and Savannah to take us through the first leg of that bipod. Race 1, that's numbers 2 and 10. The total outlay is 72 Rand, and let us hope that it is a good start to our exotics. All right, so we get into our second big exotic of the afternoon. It is the place accumulator, and this is where we also encounter a couple of scratchings. There are the 4, Hemisphere and the Stable Companion, who certainly left one or two of us with egg on our faces in the Manet 1, 8 Montana just a week ago. That is tomorrow, Thursday. Right, so that leaves us a field of 9. And as far as the favoritism is concerned, it is the 5 Bourbon Reserve at evens. And that is going to be the favorite and a possible banker in that first leg of the PA. And of course, I hope you've got those funds to invest in the PA. If not, you still have a chance before the race 2 starts. And that is via your buying, of course, your blue voucher at your local convenience store and just keying in at the PIN number. Now, Bourbon Reserve. I was so anxious, I forgot the most important part. You need money, and that is your blue voucher. Bourbon Reserve, last time out, I do know that Sean, this was one of his slight disappointments on the afternoon.
I have no doubt he was disappointed, because on that very same day, he had winners in King of Venus and Champion Warrior. Yeah. And in the post-race interview, he stated that he expected Bourbon Reserve to win. So I thought he went down to the start a bit too keen last time out. And he did hang towards the middle of the track. I think that cost him victory. If he can run straight, he's certainly going to strip fitter, and I expect him to confirm that form with a more exposed Fabian Habib trained Tiger Storm. So I do tip them in order here, 5 from 3. Now, with regards to the unraced first-timer, Green Cherry, her dam is an unraced sister to Cherry on the top. So she's extremely well related. Her half-brother sold, his half-brother sold for 700K recently at the 2-year-old sale. Unfortunately, there's no comment in the front of the computer form with regards to his chances. So yes, a banker number 5 over here in the opening leg of the PA.
Banker the 5 in the opening leg of the PA, as was the case in leg number 1 of the bar pot. They're going live. We went light at 2 and 10 here. Now we've gone banker. And again, an outlay of just 72 rand. Scratchings 4 and 8. Okay, so we're getting into race number 3. As I mentioned, it was going to be draw time on Wednesday evening. We're still on Wednesday. We're recording for Thursday. But by the time we get into racing, the final barrier draws will be known. And you can start taking your all-to-comes in to the Summer Cup itself with horses on Thursday. Case in point is race number 3. I know our man has got a cert, but of course, get that blue voucher at any denomination as 50 rand and above, and you stand to be in that draw for part of that 50,000 rand grand prize. Now, Mr. Marie Snowmoon is to be part of my striker for Lorenzo Karim and Manu Pandaram. Yes, 7 rides, 2 wins and a second. They seem to get it right, and you know that when strikers on, it is time to take them serious.
Absolutely, but I can't fancy him on his last 2 efforts. I just think they've been too poor to be true, especially his latest. Beaten a distance by Storm Ahead. So not for me.
Yeah.
Cecil, now I'm always wary when a horse goes further and they try it with blinkers for the first time, because I'm not certain if it's going to settle with them. Because over extended trips, they tend to go slower in running. If this number 7, Santiago's Pride, had no blinkers declared, I would make him a 10-star bet. You have to watch his latest replay. He cost himself victory. But the blinkers go on. I am waiting for the canter past before I decide if I'm going to have a bet or not. If this horse goes down to the start extremely relaxed and focused with the blinkers, I'll make him a very, very hard horse to beat. In that same race, obviously we saw Clear the Path win from that form line.
Yes.
But in that very same race was another Universe. Now he's by Ideal World out of a Fortwood mare. Now there's a lot of stamina on the Fortwood side, but his dam sprinted while she won over 1200 and 1400. He's related to Fushimi Inari, who's a 2000 meter horse, so he should love the step up in trip. But from what I saw in their latest encounter, if Santiago's Pride settles with the blinkers on, it won't be a race.
Okay. And those are the 2 horses in that first leg of the pick 6. That is Santiago's Pride. And the 8, Another Universe, in a field of 13 runners, well, reduced to 12, with the 3, the Merciful, being a scratching insufficient recovery time after last Thursday's efforts at Turpentine. Okay, so we are back to league action this weekend, and a lot of people can't wait. Yes, well done to the various nations that have managed to secure their places at the top of their various groups in the Nations Cup, and of course the CAF Cup, which is due off in January. But it is back to action in the Betway PSL, and of course looking forward to Pirates. Not that I am a supporter, but looking forward to them maintaining a lead. So it makes it interesting. Sundowns have become the norm in the last few seasons. Back to racing, Mr. Marie. First leg of the first jackpot and a 6th instant attraction. Coming off that form line that was much discussed. And of course, maybe if we look at Santiago's Pride's form line, or how it holds up, you did say it was unlucky. It cost itself the race. But we can only say that instant attraction suddenly becomes a bigger attraction.
Yeah, I'm sitting here on Wednesday morning previewing this race, praying that Santiago's Pride has franked this form by now.
Yeah.
Yes, now the family, she's the family of Spirited Girl, also trained by Craig Mayhew.
Full sibling,
Full sister, yes. Now, I see they're trying Spirited Girl over a mile again this coming weekend. I had a look at her breeding. Her dam won over 1400, and her half-brother Pinda Mzala was a sprinter. So, although she may love the step up in trip, she still has to prove that she does get it on the racetrack itself. So for that reason only, I've backed her up. I thought that was a lovely effort last time out in open company. Once again, we've seen that form line being franked with Clear the Path winning. And this is the right field that she's meeting, because it does look like it's moderate on paper. Now, I've backed her up, but I've included the scratching too.
Yes.
So that if she does win, we double up.
Yeah.
With the favorite. Now, my backup is number 8, African Beauty. This daughter of Lancaster Bomber is bred to get this trip and further. Her dam won over 2,000 meters. She's going to strip fitter, the blinkers come off, and she's going the extended trip for the first time. If she loves a step up in trip and is more effective over this distance, she will pose a danger to the current favorite. So in order for me, 6 from 8, the twos there on purpose. Yeah.
Okay, and I see that we seem to have washed our hands of City Lights, Mr. Marie.
Absolutely.
Right, that is your jackpot 1, underway at 2:10. All right, we get into our second half of an 8-race program at the Vaal. We're on the stand-side track by now. Mr. Marie and Co. Or the academia would have worked out where the going is best down the straight and around the turn. It is that much discussed stand-side track. Now, this is a race for all ages. It is a Kitty's Entertainment 30 November graduation plate. It's over the 1,400 meters. What do we know about 30 November? It is the renewal of the Summer Cup. 6 million rand is up for grabs. Right, race number 5, we needed to know exactly where our loyalties lie. And let's just have a look at an update of betting. And in race number 5, the favorite remains a Musical Score at 14-10, renewing rivalries with the likes of the 5 Fire Attack at 18-10. Schwarzenegger lightly raced, obliterated the field last time out when winning its maiden at the second time of asking, 5-1. And then Pia reunited with the 1 Biofarmer at 7-1, 16s and better, bar those quoted runners. Would it be a folly for me to say that Pia could not make the weight on Don't Cry For Me?
Absolutely. I'm really keen to see how he goes, Cecil. I think he's a lovely sort, but one more run and he's held on paper. But next time out, Don't Cry For Me. If he's in the right field, be with him. Now, Musical Score and Fire Attack met last time out. What was it, the Grahambeck?
The Grahambeck.
Yes, and if you watch that race carefully, Musical Stride, Raymond had him in the open air towards the outside. He didn't have any excuses, whereas Fire Attack was on the rail, and Calvin was cramped for a good couple of strides. So although Musical Score beat Fire Attack and is better off at the weights by 1 kilogram, I don't think there will be much separating them once again. Now, prior to the Grahambeck, Alec Laird was interviewed, and he was extremely upbeat with regards to Fire Attack's chances. Although he had been off the track for quite some time, he thought he had him in a great space. Yeah, I think they will dominate. But on paper, you're probably going to be with Musical Score, the fact that he's beaten him and better off at the weights. Troy Sonada is an interesting sort. I mean, he's done absolutely nothing wrong to date. But if you look at a line through Mount Pinatuba and Wolf Mountain, he should be held. But you know what? At the weights, if you're playing wider, please include him.
Okay, that is Schwarzenegger. Impressive. People still talk about that victory. 5 and 8 are the ones to be on in the first leg of the jackpot. They should see us through. And just the 2 horses at the back, that'll be race 8, 2 and 4. All right, here we get into that first leg of the last pick 3 race number 6 at the Vaal. And the distance will be 2,400 meters. Unfortunately, the 1 Mamba Comtesio, as well as the 6 the Octagon, are both scratched. That is numbers 1 and 6. Leaves us a field of 7. A very competitive race number 6. And just having a look at the betting, it may be a bit of a guide. Co-favorites are the 2 To The Rescue and the 5 Nuclear Force at 28-10. The 8 Raw Mazarin is at 7-2, 4-1. The 3 Storm Ahead, as we discussed earlier on, has just come out of those maidens very, very recently. Now, how do you play this, Mr. Marie? Teotoriate, again, Fetching Fly run. Fetching Fly did impress one and all. We did hear word that they were expecting a very big run.
Yeah, listen, Cecil, she's in my pick 6 and my jackpots because I went field this leg, so I am hoping to get a result in that regard. But my PA and my bipod are only put 2, 5, and 8.
Okay.
Now, To The Rescue and Nuclear Force, 2 and 5, nothing separating the 2 of them. To The Rescue, interestingly enough, last time out, he's usually languishing off the pace. Mm-hmm. He was up on speed, but he's a one-pace sort. So maybe Cabello this time around asked him to get going earlier. but he's not reliable. Nuclear Force, I mean, he's in great form, having his peak run. Calvin gets a good tune out of him. Natural inclusion. I think the Somers were very pleased with Royal Mazarin's return. He was off the track for 3 odd months, carried a very hefty weight on that occasion, 61, and he only found his stable pinion too good for him on that occasion. Goes well over the course and distance, going to strip fitter. Has to go into all perms. But yes, I'm looking for his results in the pick six and the jackpots. I did include one of the scratchings just in case the tote favorite wins.
Okay. So that would be the scratching for the six.
The six, yeah.
All right. So it will be a 2, 5, and 8 there. And then you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 2 and a 4 in that pick 3. I think you may just have to do some editing if you wish to get the benefit of the scratching.
In my pick 3, I only put my bar pots and my PA horses.
Okay, that's just your PA horses. Thank you very much, Darryl. That is a 24 Rand outlay to that pick 3. Right, so we have one more double to one exotic, more exotic to get involved in, and that's the double. It says the lowly handicap is 66, and they're going over the 1,800 meters, no scratchings. And it's one of those races where I think it's for Caliburn to lose. That's your current joint favorite with Guy Alexander, both at 22 to 10. The 6 flag bearers are 3 to 1. The 8 Rainy Season 7 to 1 and 17 to 2. The 7 Perini Palace 14 to 1 and better bar those. Well, I think Mr. Lyle Cooper, who hung his hat on flag bearer, and he was really convinced that the apprentice would be up there with the pace, etc. It worked out to be the other way. We'll be able to get a bit of money back. 3 to 1, not so much the value that he had, but it was about 3 to 1 the last time out as well. But your selections, Ian, what is a trappy race?
Yeah, I really expected the apprentice to make them carry their weight. I mean, he had 48 kilograms to shoulder, so to see him off the pace and struggling throughout was a disappointing run. I think if Calvin can get him out, he's a one-pace horse.
Yeah.
And skip at the right time, he could be a factor here, but he has to prove that last run was too bad to be true. Now, Caliburn, I love his chances. I mean, Chase gets on extremely well with him. Go back a few runs, you'll see as much as 5 kilograms better off with Guy Alexander for a 3-length beating. On paper, he has to reverse that form. So yes, Caliburn, my number 1 choice. Guy Alexander's in great form. He has to go in. Wouldn't be a shock to see him win again. And then Rainy Season, I've included the 7-year-old.
I was going to ask you about that.
I actually like him ridden a little bit more off the pace. In his penultimate start, just put a line through that. He was pulling terribly. So, although he's held on paper, I think of a rating of 52. And Jared Penny, we know what he can do when he's given a chance, Cecil. Don't be surprised. Please, if you're playing trifectas, quartets, exactas, number 8 has to go in.
I actually thought this could be an ideal ride for Jared, and that is on the 8 Rainy Season. But Caliburn seems to be the first choice flag bearer, and Guy Alexander the obvious ones. In race number 7, the first leg of the last double. Right, let's get into the lucky last, the Get Out Stakes, and what a way to round off the meeting. It is a very nice race with 1 or 2 very nice sorts, and some hard knockers involved in the running of race number 8. This will be a next Vaal race meeting Thursday, the 28th of November, May traded 80. It's over the 1,600 meters, and of course the 28th. It will be our last meeting before the Summer Cup, which runs 2 days later at Turffontein. Now, as far as the betting is concerned, not surprising, at the top of the boards is number 2 Bacchus, and that is the 13 to 10. Number 8 Hammy's Hero, 5 to 1. The 4 New Mexico is at 9 to 1. 10 to 1 about the 12 of Vava Vegas. It is 11 to 1 and better about those. Just touching on the New Mexico, Mr. Marie. The word when we got on course, that was on Charity Mile Day, that New Mexico, they didn't want to know, but as of the parading all the way down to the start, the horse just, if you had your money on, you were already sweating more than the horse was sweating itself. And let's hope that things have been sorted out. But Bacchus, any negatives about Bacchus?
No negatives whatsoever. I loved his effort last time out. I mean, behind Heather's Boy. Now, I've just had a look. Heather's Boy is not taking his place in the Dingans next weekend, and neither is Bacchus. But that was a cracking effort, Cecil. I know he picked up a 4-pound or 2-kilogram penalty for that second, but they were so far clear of the balance of the field. Further behind was a hard-knocking handicapper in space.
The one last Thursday.
Yes, what's that?
Yeah.
Paul Peters, Safe
Yes,
Space.
Safe
Space. He placed and then won indirectly. This son of Master My Fate could really be anything. I can't wait until he steps over up to 2,000 and further. On paper, I think he looks an absolute certainty. But you know what, Cecil? Why do you think bookmakers have got buildings and we're busy paying off our Bajaj Chute or whatever it's called on a payment plan? These good things unfortunately get beaten. So for that reason only, I have backed him up with New Mexico. Prior to his effort last time out, Alec Laird made a statement on air that this son of Ideal World should be in the hundreds if it wasn't for his issues.
Yes.
I thought his last run was very, very moderate. He was in a perfect position. But if he's better than his current rating of 75 and the favorite fluffs his lines, which I hope he doesn't, he could be the one to pick up the pieces. So in order 2 from 4, I'm hoping Bacchus can get it right for the punters.
Bacchus is a good choice, first choice there for Mr. Marie, but New Mexico, you heard what the connections think, but I can confirm, seeing it firsthand, the race was run by New Mexico before it even left the parade ring. That's been our preview for Vaal racing on a Thursday. Stand side track. Thank you, Daryl.